Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Malicious Compliance. In today's episode, my old boss was performing malicious compliance and I just realized it today. Both skates on the ice. Sure. Give me a hand. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. My old boss was performing malicious compliance and I just realized it today. So I just shared this story in another post here about, in particular to a comment talking about how they only had 4 people to cover 7 days of the week, and another user saying that makes no sense because nobody could ever even go to the bathroom. I once worked at a hotel where we had 4 people for the front desk total. 5 if you include the pervert owner. Myself, a gal named, I can't remember. Let's say Lucy. The assistant manager, Heidi, and the owner's son, Suleiman. I worked night audit 4 days a week. Monday through Thursday. 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Hourly. I did late check-ins, deep cleans, rounds, ran audit, early checkouts, laundry and prepped breakfast. Heidi would come in and handle checkouts 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. Salary. She did checkouts, kept breakfast going, and laundry. After 1 p.m. she did check-ins. Lucy came in at 10 a.m. and worked until 6 p.m. Monday through Thursday, same as me. Hourly. She did check-ins, customer appreciation, fixed any problems, oversaw housekeeping and did laundry. Suleiman would come in at around noon on Friday, clock in, do some inventory stuff, check in with maintenance and plant ops. Alternated between sitting in his office and wandering the building for 4 to 6 hours. After he took over the shift and was alone, he would proceed to sit and watch TV in the lobby until midnight, doing late check-ins. Then he would run audit right at midnight, put out a special phone at the front desk that connected to his cell, and proceeded to go up to his suite-turned apartment. No, he did not live on site the rest of the week, that might have made all this excusable, and go to bed. He would then get up at 5 a.m., go make breakfast, then nap in his office between checkouts. He did this until 6 a.m. Monday. Clocked in the entire time, even while he was sleeping. 66 hours a week, with overtime being 2x and his base pay being, he claimed, 2x hours, and his on-call rate, overnight, was 4x. We were paid $12 an hour. So, I did the math on this once, hold on. So $24 an hour. He would work about 12 hours on Friday before going to bed at midnight, so $144 on his check. He then would spend 5 hours on call sleeping, at 4x pay. So $240 to his check. Then he would work 18 hours on Saturday, which brings him to 35 hours total, at base, so another 18 at 24 base is another $432 to his check. He would then do another 5 hours on call at 4x pay, bringing him up to 40 hours. He would then work another 18 hours until midnight Sunday night. He's now in OT, so he adds 18 by 48 for an additional $864 to his check. He would then go to bed at midnight again, wake up at 5 a.m., prep breakfast, and leave at 6 a.m. when Heidi got there. His last 5 hours of sleep were on call OT, at 8x his base pay. 24 times 8 times 5 is equal to $960. His last hour was regular OT, so another $48. His take-home every week for doing that was $144 plus $240 plus $432 plus $864 plus $960 plus $48 is equal to $2,688. He did this because his dad, the owner, required him to be there at least 60 hours a week. There were times he would call, have us clock him in, and then have us cover for him. He never did any laundry, ever. At 12 an hour, he could have hired 5 more full-time employees and actually saved his dad about $200 a week, and maybe I could have gotten to have a life. But 12 an hour plus OT in 2016 wasn't something I could turn down. Look at that. My boss was actually performing malicious compliance against his dad. What'd know? Both skates on the ice. Sure. So this isn't the most satisfying malicious compliance story, and I don't know if many people will even be on my side with it. This post might even get removed, but it technically counts. This happened in the winter of 2019. I'm a figure skater with my university figure skating society. The problem comes over the holidays when I lived with my parents. The ice rink in the city had closed down years prior to this story, and the next closest one was literally in the next country. My parents live in the southwest of England, and the next closest rink was in Wales, and I'd have to take 3 trains and 2 buses to get there. I know that because I'd made that journey myself in the summer. Around Christmas time, as is true in a lot of places, a lot of temporary ice rinks open up for people who just want to skate on circles. They're much smaller than my regular rink and the ice isn't great, but for myself, desperate to skate, the temporary rink in the closest town was all I had. I got a ticket to a session on a weekday, meaning that it wasn't crowded at all. There were maybe 7 other people there, mostly sticking to the edges and hugging the side as most new skaters do. I originally kept to the middle, doing jumps, spins, backward crossovers, releasing my pent-up skating urges, before someone on the rink approached me saying that I had to keep to the sides and not skate in the middle. I might have understood this if it was more crowded, but again, the rink had so little traffic that I might as well have had it to myself. Still, I tried to keep to the sides and just do all my tricks while skating in a single direction, while doing my best to stay clear and respectful of the others. They didn't seem to care, before I was approached again saying that I had to keep both skates on the ice. Keep in mind, I'd read the rules on the website before getting my ticket, and there was nothing about not being able to skate in the middle or keeping both skates on the ice. Again, if it had been crowded, I would have understood, but the danger was practically non-existent with so few people around. I said I had to take 3 trains and 2 buses to get to the next closest rink, and he said, "Tough luck." Realizing I wasn't getting anywhere, and being pissed at not being able to skate properly, I decided to cue malicious compliance. I skated a good distance away, making sure to keep to the sides, in the same direction, and pick up my skates as little as possible. Then when I had enough momentum, I pushed down into a forward lunge. Technically, both my skates stayed on the ice, just that for my back skate, it was the leather of the boot rather than the blade. As I passed the guy, I twisted around so I was traveling backwards in the lunge, before pushing my front skate out into full splits on the ice, arching back gracefully. Both my skates never left the ice. Then I got up, smiled at the guy, who looked certifiably done with my shit, and left the ice, treating myself to a hot chocolate with whipped cream and marshmallows. The city built a new permanent ice rink a couple years later, where the rink staff complimented my skating, and I never had to go back to that rink. Give me a hand. So, my old manager was a stupid. He barely did his job, and would bend backwards over his employees to avoid conflict. Imagine the most lily-livered person ever. Add screaming for no good reason, and there you have him. Now, one of my coworkers gives no craps. He also has a missing arm. He tells a different story every time you ask him about it. These stories have included everything from a bear to rescuing his wife from vampires. And I asked his wife, she repeated the vampire story, so that's the most likely story. He has a prosthetic arm to help him out. It doesn't get in the way of his work at all, and he's kinda fun to be around. One day, my old manager walked into the room we were in, pissed about something insignificant, as usual, spied my coworker and I, and screamed, "Give me a hand." My coworker rolled up his sleeve, ripped off his prosthetic, and flung it at the stupid's face. To his credit, the rat dodged it in a rather impressive display of flight. He then ruined his impressive momentum by screaming some gargling slobber, then ran to his office where he screamed into the phone about discipline and respect. This incident was apparently the straw that broke the blowfish's back, because the manager quit not long after, citing a hostile work environment. We now have a manager who is a wonderful person, who could actually lead a horse to water, and is patient enough to wait for it to drink. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.